guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and the place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, and happy Tuesday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful week so far and a great day. I rebounded from yesterday. Yesterday was a little like, and I rebounded today, and it was a good day. So I hope everybody had an equally good, if not great, day today. Last night I watched The Bachelor. I made my notes, so let's talk about it. Is it just me, or does it feel like this season is going incredibly quick? I'm not gonna say it's my least favorite season, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to be having like the drama, or I don't know. There's something about it. It's moving very quickly because next week is already hometowns. So let's get right to it. The ladies are still international this week. They're in Edinburgh, Scotland. They're in Scotland. So in Scotland, they go to this hotel that, I swear to goodness, it doesn't look like it's a hotel. I really thought it was just like a mini castle, but it's a hotel. Jesse shows up. He announces that there's going to be 2 one-on-ones. There's going to be 1 group date. There is something different this week though, because on the dates, on all the dates, the 2 one-on-ones and the 1 group, there will be no roses given on the dates. So you can't get a rose on a date and then just be safe at the rose ceremony. All the roses will be given at the rose ceremony. So first date card is given, and it is a one-on-one, and there are 2 ladies who have not gotten one-on-ones yet. That is Zoe and Juliana. So the one-on-one with the theme of Our Love is a Fairy Tale, well, that goes to Juliana. Now usually there is one of these every year, every season where the woman gets to go like shopping. They try on gowns, and then they have like a fancy like dinner or something. And this was no different because Juliana and Grant, they got in the helicopter. They had some champs in the helicopter. They kissed and they hugged and they took selfies and they loved on each other. I flew to a castle where they had a royal valet, and they got to try on gowns. Of course, they did like the silly gown. She did like the silly gowns, and they laughed, and they had a little bit to eat, very little to eat, a little bit of champagne, tried on the gowns, and then she ended up in this. I thought it was very like Marilyn Monroe-esque, kind of like from Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I thought that's what I got from it, but it was beautiful, and he looked very handsome. And then they go into this big ballroom, this big great room, and they had a orchestra, like a little mini quartet, little orchestra. It was very vitamin string. What is it? Vitamin string quartet? Is that what it is? You know, the ones that play like the classical versions of the popular songs, of the current songs. Vitamin string quartet, I think. You know what I'm talking about in Bridgerton? Well, this was they were playing, it wasn't them, but it was like, you know, a string quartet that was playing 500 Miles by the Proclaimers, which is one of my favorite 80s songs. So they were dancing, and she felt like he said, I know that there were people there, but they were all dancing around them, and then they were dancing in the middle, and they were kissing, and they said that they felt like they were the only people there. So then going into the date night, Juliana says that she really wants to open up about her past. So she does. She says, because she wants to let him know why she's always like smiling and happy. And it's because in her past, when she was very young, when she was a child, there was someone in her past who had an addiction a problem with addiction. And it took it took her a lot. It took a lot away from her childhood. Like in a lot of her childhood, because of that, she felt like she was alone. You can't see it, but I'm over here like this, talking with my hand because I'm Italian. I'm like this. I know that didn't look like a hand. That looked like a claws. And I'm like, so, and because of that, she was in such a dark place for such a long time that now she just is always happy and smiling because she doesn't want to go back to that darkness. And we know that Grant has been through a similar situation because his father was had an addiction problem, and he actually had lied to Grant about it. But and because of that, Grant always felt like kind of alone, very alone as a child. So they bonded over that, and they bonded over that, and they connected over that. And he says he could see her as his wife, and they went outside, and there were fireworks. There were a ton of fireworks, and they were kissing and everything, and it was like a fairy tale come true for her. So back at the hotel, a date card comes, or a date card shows up, and it is for the group date. So on the group date, it is Serafina, Alex, Carolina, Dina, and Zoe. So Latia gets the last one-on-one. You can tell that Zoe is very upset because she is the only one who has not gotten a one-on-one. She does her best to congratulate. She congratulates Latia, but rightfully so, she's a little upset just because everybody has gotten a one-on-one, so that except for her. So this has kind of shaken her confidence and really makes her question if they do have a connection. And she excuses herself just because she's very upset, which I don't blame her. And then doesn't Carolina come out and say something like, oh, well, it is what it is. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I hate when people say it is what it is, because I know someone who anytime I would try to say something to like talk about how I was feeling, they would be like, well, it is what it is, before even listening. She was like, it is what it is. No, it is what it is. I mean, she has a right to feel upset. I mean, because sure, Zoe has been on group dates, so there's quantity. However, there's not a lot of quality because you don't get one-on-one targeted, like one-on-one time alone. You have to share it with everybody. So, yeah, she did get a quantity of dates, group dates, but it wasn't quality for her. It wasn't quality, and she should actually be getting this last date. I really like Latia a lot, but it's obvious he has a very deep connection with her. I feel like he should have given it to Zoe. So the group date, the ladies go to, it's Highland Fair. It's like a Highland, to me, it's like a Highlands Games, but it's a Highland Fair. It's at a castle. They have all kind of like very Scottish food and Scottish games. And they're wearing their tartan, and Grant is in a kilt, and everybody's having fun. He wants to see if the women can have fun. Everybody's having fun. Well, except for Carolina, when Grant is giving attention to other women. She don't like this. So she's upset because it's really getting to her that she's dating this man and other women are kissing him and dating him and getting his attention. My question is, why did she apply to be on this show? because she apparently can't handle it. It's obvious to everybody that she cannot handle this. She has to have that one man all to herself. I mean, that makes complete sense. But she seems to get jealous quite easily. So I don't understand, like I said, why would you even apply to be on the show? You know what it's about. So why apply? So she's upset. Everybody else is having fun. She goes sulking away and sits at the table and is just all by herself. Everybody else is having fun. And then Grant's like, notices she's over there by herself. So he's like, I want to go just see how she's doing. So he goes over, and you know what's going to happen. It's going to end up being the Carolina show. It is every time. And this is pissing me off because, listen, this is the chance that Zoe could have gotten to make an impression on Grant. And she's not getting that time because, once again, Carolina is monopolizing this. So he goes over, he's like, hey, how are you? Is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, everything's okay. He's like, come join us. She's like, no. He's like, okay, let's go talk. So, of course, they go far away from everybody. They sit on a rock and they talk. And he says, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then she starts, of course, crying. So he's not going to be going anywhere. He's going to be staying there and make sure that she's okay, at least until she stops crying. So she just says, like, I feel like you have a stronger connection with others, and it's hard for me to be here when I see this. He says, listen, we had one of the strongest, my connection to you was one of the strongest, but I'm feeling like maybe our connection wasn't really there. I mean, do you want, she says to him, do you really want to be here? Or no. Yes, she says, wait, no. Does she really want to be here? And he says, he asks, does she really want to be here? Because we have to figure this out now, because hometowns are next week. So we got to figure this out. And then she asks him, so what do you want to do? And he's like, sometimes it's better just to let go than to hold on. So this is kind of scaring her, and she's thinking like, oh, is he going to get rid of me? She tells him she's not feeling this. She's not feeling it anymore. She can't do this anymore. She should just go. She should just self-eliminate herself. And she says, I feel like every time I talk to him, it's just drama and negativity. Well, that's absolutely correct. She is nothing but drama and negativity, because that's all he gets when he talks to her, because she's involved in all this drama. Like, with all the issues going on in the house, take a look at it. Who is involved in all of this drama that's going on? It's Carolina. In every single thing that has happened, it's been Carolina, except in the beginning with Zoe. And Zoe cleaned herself up since then. But ever since then, everything's been about Carolina. And he's once again, he's talking about how they have to get past these things. And, this is how it works in life. You have to get past these things. But listen, then he said something that made me think, well, wait a minute. Is he talking like he's going to take her into hometowns, and hometowns is where they're going to clear this up? Because that's not it. That's not the time. You should be taking people into hometowns that you can clearly see are not, are not toxic, are not drama filled, are not negative, and someone that you can see spending an entire life with, okay? Because I don't know how anybody could spend an entire life with her. If you have to keep doing that, those should be red flags. So, and all this is going on. And guess what? Zoe could have had some one-on-one time with him. That's disrespecting. That's disrespecting to everybody, and especially to Zoe. So back at the castle, the ladies are talking. Everybody sees what's going on now. Even her bestie who stuck up for her, who had her back last week, Dina. They all know what she does. She lays back. She gets all pouty. She gets weepy. And she's all sad. And she's crying. And then Grant pulls her aside. And then boom. She has monopolized the time and hardly nobody else gets to talk to him. That's exactly what happens. And once again, she's done it. She's made it the Carolina show. Why does she... And I agree with the ladies. Who is she that she gets to have more time than anybody else? I mean, I understand pulling him every once in a while. However, this is every week now that she has to go and cry to him and get all this extra time. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's very disrespectful of Carolina. But to be honest with you, if you think about it, it's kind of disrespectful and kind of not very thoughtful of Grant, because here's all these other women that he should be spending time with and growing connections with. But instead, he's out here for however long, sitting with her, making sure she's okay. And I get that you want to make sure someone's okay, but I mean, there's other women too. I thought that was kind of careless of him. He knows that there are other women. Like I said, he knows there's other women, but instead he spends all his time with just this one woman. And that should be a red flag for him. This should be a red flag on what a future would be like with her, is all I'm saying. At the after party, everybody's like, we have not had a lot of time to talk to him today. So Zoe jumped to it. You better get in there and you better get your time. And she does. She basically says to him, it was a weird day because last week we had this good conversation, but today I didn't get hardly any time to talk to you because one person got most of the time with you. One woman got most of the time with you. So I'm not confident in what's going to happen between us. And he comes back basically saying we did have a great conversation. And even though, because she did bring up the fact that I was bummed that I didn't get a one-on-one. So I was planning on really talking to you today. Didn't get a chance to because one woman monopolized your time. But he's like, we did have a great conversation. And I don't feel like you have to have a one-on-one in order to make an impression. All it takes really is one good conversation. We had a great conversation. So basically let's open up, let's have some more conversations. So she opened up about her family and they talked and it seemed like it was okay. Alex talked to him and for her, it's been a tough week with her because of the drama. For me, I feel like Alex is an empath. She feels everything. And she's a very emotionally feeling person. She's an empath for certain. So she's just been having a tough time, which I hate to see because I like Alex. While all of this is going on, three of the ladies, I think it was Zoe, Serafina, and all the ladies were there except for Alex, because she was talking with Grant. But the other ladies are talking whatchamacallit's over here. Like, Carolina's over here talking to nobody. She's just sitting here. Who's she talking to? Nobody. But the ladies are talking. They're talking about like, well, we didn't get a lot of time to talk to Grant, and it would have been nice if we could have talked to him. Carolina, they're really not involving Carolina. So Zoe gets up, walks away, and they finally are like, well, so since you didn't jump in, I mean, how was your day? She's like, you weren't talking to me, and so I don't know, what do you want me to say? And it basically, the ladies, Dina basically just told her what she thought. She was like, I thought it was disrespectful that you didn't talk to, or that I thought it was disrespectful that that you took all of Grant's time and nobody else got a chance to talk to him. Dina was like, I stood up for you. I stood up for you last week, and now I see exactly what everybody else was saying. And she's like, even though you didn't grab Grant to talk to him, he grabbed you, and you had free will. You could have like dipped out at any time. So she then goes upstairs. There's a big blow up between her and Dina, and Carolina goes upstairs. Of course, you know, she goes upstairs to talk to Grant. She walks in, and she was completely different. She was like a new cheerful Carolina. And did she really go in? He was like, how are you doing? She's like, well, first of all, I really hate that we had to have that talk today. My bullshit asshole. You certainly didn't care. You loved it because you got time to talk to him, and you took time away from the others. Dina's right. You don't give a shit about anybody but yourself. That's it. She loved that. So she says, wait, no. So he says that maybe the only time she's able to open up is in hometowns. No, this shit should be nipped in the bud by hometowns. By hometowns, you should know. You shouldn't be taking people to hometowns that you aren't. If there's still questions, don't take them to hometowns. I mean, no, listen. No. Actually, that's not true, because there's some people that do have some questions. But with this, no. Don't take her. I don't like her. That's why I'm saying that. It's because I don't like her. That's crazy, because on their one-on-one date, I was like, I think I'm starting to like her. Now I'm like, no, don't like her. A little bit later on, when all the ladies are together, and Serafina basically is just like, no, we're done. We're not talking about this anymore. I'm not giving this woman any more of my energy, which is exactly what you should do. But Dina, she feels like a fool. Dina rode hard for Carolina last week. Hard. Against everybody. So she got to go up and talk to Grant about this. She goes in, talks to Grant. She's like, listen, I never want to be the damsel in distress. There's women here who are good and who think about other people's feelings. But then there's one person who only cares about themselves. They don't care about anybody else's feelings. You're smart. You can pick up what I'm putting down. And I was like, I hope he sure does know who she's talking about. But Grant says he doesn't tell her this, but he says he really trusts Dina. And there have been consistently some problems with Carolina. She trusts Dina. Carolina, there's some problems. He's confused now. You shouldn't be confused, because listen, there's problems lately. And you know who is in every one of those problems? That's Carolina. That tells you that she's the issue. Okay, so with the one-on-one, Latia's one-on-one. They spend the day walking around in Scotland. These two, there's such like a natural ease about these two when they're together. they really do, just look like a couple that have been together forever. I could see them being married and having kids. I think in my mind, they're the front run. She's the front runner. And they come across these two like older ladies who are sitting there knitting, and he tells them, he says he can see her as his wife. And there's another part when he said he remembers like every detail from the moment when he realized that this was like something very special. Like he remembers everything she had, what she had on, what she said, everything. And I was like, oh. So heading into the date night, Latia says that she has to talk about her family, and it's going to be difficult because she doesn't know how he's going to react. So during dinner, she shares that her family is very religious, very strict religiously, and they are Mormons. So she's just worried because her family doesn't let her date outside of her faith. So she's worried about how they're going to react to him. And in relationship to faith and to religion, Grant says that his relationship with God is a cornerstone on how to live his life. Like he feels like, and he had even said like when he was younger and he felt alone, he would go up to his room, he would talk to God. So he has a strong relationship with God. And but he says he feels like if there's love between two people, you can really deal with anything. The beautiful part about this was when Grant started crying. He was crying, and he was really vulnerable about when he was growing up, about his childhood. And I have to tell you, I think that's something we need to see more of for men, because men are really told that to be manly is to like push all your feelings down, don't become vulnerable, don't cry, don't show any emotions, and that's how you should be. And I thought this was an absolutely beautiful display, because he's being vulnerable, he's showing his emotions, and she was there for him. Like, but earlier when Juliana was crying, he was like wiping her tears, and that was beautiful. But I also love to see that he could show his emotions, and Latia was there for him. She was comforting him, and he had said, she accepts me for, my good, my bad. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was just like such a lovely message to see, such a lovely display and a beautiful message. Okay, so for the rose ceremony, everybody's there. Carolina pulls Dina aside and says, hey, we need to talk. So she was like, hey, listen, I just want to let you know what you did for me last week meant a lot. I hate how things went down between us. And regardless of what happens, I wish you nothing but the best. And she takes accountability, and they make up. They both say that they love each other, and we're good. Which is crazy, because something must have changed, because I feel like Dina has been ripping on Carolina on TikTok, on TikTok. We'll have to see on Women Tell All, because I don't think Dina's making it. If I'm being honest, I think the final two are going to be Latia and Juliana. Okay, so who is going into hometowns? I picked the first two correctly. I picked Latia number 1, Juliana number 2. Next was Dina, and then Zoe. So the women that are out are Serafina, Carolina, and Alex. I was super surprised that Alex was out. I was very surprised that Alex was out. And the one that surprised me that was in was Dina. I was surprised that Dina was in. I was thinking it was going to be Juliana, Latia, Juliana, Alex, and Zoe. I was also very surprised that he didn't walk Carolina out. What time is it? Oh, okay. So I was surprised he didn't walk Carolina out. Like, he didn't do anything. Like, nothing. He wasn't even like, did you see that reaction? I'm telling you. So next week is hometowns. To me, it doesn't look like any of these. I mean, it could be editing. It could very well be editing. But to me, I don't know that it looks like any of these families are vibing with Grant. I don't know. And then in the finale, you got two women heading there at the same time, and he don't know, like, he went to bed thinking he knows what he wants, and then he woke up and he doesn't know. So they're like, who do we got to send down first? Because, you know, first person down is the one he doesn't pick. So he doesn't know. So I have not looked at any spoilers from Reality Steve or anything. I have looked nowhere on spoilers. I used to do that. I have not been doing that. I honestly, in my mind, it's coming down to Latia and Juliana. I would be okay with either one of them, but I think I would probably prefer Latia, I think. But okay, in the comments, because I still gotta get my snack. It is Beverly Hills night. So I gotta get my snack and then I gotta go watch Beverly Hills. So in the comments, let me know if you watched and what you thought. Who do you think is going to be the final two? Who do you think is going to win? And with that being said, if nobody told you yet today, you were loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another. Also, be aware of your surroundings, be smart and safe. Hydrate often with water, and if you're in a dangerous situation, know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy your way so you make it through anything. I love you guys, and I will see you, what's that? Oh, that's my hair. Tomorrow. Bye, guys.